So we're currently already over 2/3 of the way through 2025 already, and I've already run over 2,000 miles, meaning I'm on target to smash through the 3,000 mile barrier at the end of this year. And that means it's time to check in and see which of my shoes have been my top choices for the long run so far this year. Now I can confirm I've used 9 different pairs of running shoes so far this year for my long runs, and just for context, in the first half of the year I did training for a half marathon, moved into the shorter distance with a 5k training block, did a big summer of double threshold work, and I'm currently, as of right now, halfway through a marathon training block. So there are 4 shoes that I'm going to particularly highlight in today's video where I've used more than once. 5 of them I've only used once throughout the year, and they've probably just been some kind of one-off easy or steady long run where I've just been mixing and matching some shoes. But there are some staples in there, and you'll see the top 2 are very, very close indeed. So let me just whiz through the 5 shoes that I've only done one long run in so far this year. In no particular order, the Cloudsurfer 2 by On. That comes in with a 13.8 mile long run. I think that was a 1 hour 30 or 1 hour 40 steady with a bit of tempo long run thrown in there just to check if you could pick up the pace in that shoe. I believe that was earlier in the year when I was testing out the shoe. I was quite impressed with that shoe this year, logged over 200 miles in it. It's been fantastic. And when I was testing it back in the early days, as per a lot of my testing, it's just a case of to see, does this shoe have any gears, or is it very much a case of we're going to pigeonhole that as an easy recovery run shoe? Maybe it's a tempo shoe, a speed day shoe, whatever it is. I was impressed to see that it did really well in that run. Very low heart rate, very good pace. So that one was just a 1 run test. Do know Neo Vista as well, very similar. Again, just a 1 long run test. I did a few longer steady miles in it. This one was a 14.32 mile long run. The rest were kind of midweek, maybe more 10 to 12 mile runs, and just in general steady running, because that again is where that shoe fell. Talking of pigeonholing, as per the previous shoe, I very much found that to be a shoe that was okay when you just wanted to clip along at a decent pace. I didn't really enjoy it on easy running. It was a bit clunky, a bit too big, a bit too bulky, and I struggled to pick up the pace in it. It was just a lot of shoe, and it felt like it was a big weight on the bottom of my foot, even though it wasn't the heaviest shoe that I tested. It was just one of those ones that was a bit hit and miss with me. I got nearly or just over 100 miles. I can't exactly remember, but again, that was just a 1 long run test. The Nike Vaporfly 4, that one just had, again, another 1 long run test, just over 15 miles. So I put a good long run in that one, and again, that was more a case of seeing if it had improved from the previous version 3, or wasn't quite as good. Now, to be honest with you, I'm a huge fan of version 1 and 2. Version 3 was a bit of a dud for me and really struggled with Achilles issues and plantar fascia pain when I was running in that shoe. It just went to mush the longer you stayed in it. I did not enjoy it at all. They really butchered it. It looked great when it came out, and I know a lot of people have had some good success in it. I feel like if you're taking it over the longer distances though, it just wasn't that good. So the whole purpose of the Vaporfly 4 test was to see how it would do over the longer run. Is it better? Is it worse? And to be honest with you, it was pretty much the same. Although in terms of just a general update in the shoe itself, as we know, lost a bit of stack height. It feels a little bit more like a super trainer rather than the racer. Definitely bottom of the list when it comes to racing shoes this year, but still quite a comfortable shoe. Just not one that I fancy taking out for long runs. The Saucony Endorphin Elite was another one. That was one that just had, again, 1 long run. It's done a lot of workouts this year, and it's got up to, again, over 200 miles. In fact, it's right here. This one went flat very, very quickly after 100 miles, and it really wasn't that pleasant. It was such a shame, because this is, and probably still is, my top 2 or 3 racing shoes ever. One of the best. It took over the love for my Vaporfly when I got that shoe. But as I said, it went flat pretty quickly. I just saved it for workouts on the trails. I was doing some sort of standard 10 to 12 to maybe 14 mile longer threshold workouts in it, but in terms of a dedicated long run, it just got the 1 in there. And again, I think there was some kind of workout, some pickups in there. It's usually something like 10 by 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off, or 4 minutes on, 2 minutes off when I'm in that summer mode, and that's when it was used. So other than that, that again has just had the 1. And finally, the Nova Blast version 5. This one has the biggest long run, over 17 miles. And again, this was just an easy to steady long run, just clipping along, getting some good time on feet earlier in the year. Again, disappointed with this shoe in general. It just started to go flat in and around that 150 to 60 to 70 mile mark, and by 200 it just felt like a ball of rubber in the midsole. And then the 200 to 300 mark was just me persisting for really no reason to get it up to the 300 miles and just see how much worse it got. It really wasn't that good for me. I know a few of you have shared that it's not doing too bad for you, which is great, but I know a lot of you shared my same thoughts, which is basically it went flat way too early. They're definitely not built like they used to in the older previous versions. So let's move on to those top 4. Realistically, there's only 2 in contention for long run shoe of the year in terms of volume and number of runs, but the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3 has had some longer marathon based long runs recently. This was a shoe that I was testing out to see if it would be my marathon shoe. Quick history lesson, PB'd in all the distances earlier in the year in this shoe, absolutely loved it, but I did find in my 10-mile race and a couple of half marathons, Alicante and Newport, I did get a bit of Achilles heel rubbing in the shoe. I was a little bit worried to take it the full distance, so I did some testing. I actually had no issues, to be fair. I did tape up the back of my feet, nothing a bit of tape can't solve, but I didn't actually have any rubbing issues at the time. So then I did some workouts in it and again had no issue. I don't know if the shoe's molded to my foot or what it is, but that seems to be non-existent now. However, I did decide to go with the Pro 3 from Adidas, or maybe another shoe that's coming in for testing very soon. You'll have to see and stay tuned to see what that is. But ultimately that one did pretty well. A couple of decent long runs, 15 miler and a 17 miler, one a little bit easier and then one with a bit of meat in it with some workout paces, and it did really well. Nike Alphafly 3, that's got 3 long runs in it, 2 16 milers and a 17. Again, was using it in and around the same time as the Saucony Endorphin Elite. Those 2 shoes were kind of spliced together where I was using them for some midweek workouts and some long runs. The Elite was used more so for the midweek longer workouts, and then the Alphafly more so for the weekend long runs. I never particularly found that shoe to be something I wanted to race in. I did race in it once. It was okay, but again, just like everything with Nike, it's just gone downhill from the first version. Vaporfly is brilliant and gone downhill since there. Alphafly version 1, brilliant and gone downhill since there. This one, as I said, not too bad, but again, it just feels like a lot of shoe on foot, and it's way heavier than any of the other racing shoes that I have in my rotation. So I basically said to myself, I don't want to race in the shoe. I spent my money on it. A little bit frustrating, so I'm going to use it in training. And to be fair, it's a pretty decent long run shoe, albeit an expensive one. I think you guys can probably guess what the top 2 shoes are. We'll start with the second place, which is the Evo SL. This has 7 long runs in it, as does the winner, but we're doing it based on number of mileage. So this one just got over 100 miles in it in the long runs. Evo SL has been a brilliant shoe for me this year. Got a couple of pairs and they've been absolutely fantastic. Wouldn't hesitate but to buy more. However, just got other shoes in my rotation at the moment that I want to put a few more miles in. I'll see where I'm at after that and might invest in another pair because I know there are sales on this shoe, and quite honestly, it's the best value shoe out there. Premium midsole compound for £130. A little bit unstable, a lot of people find it. I don't find it to be too bad. I can get around 300 miles out of it and they seem to be absolutely perfect. And finally, the Adidas Pro 3. So Adidas taking both top spots. Again, this has 7 runs in it, but the mileage is a lot bigger. So this is around or just over 130 miles. So I'm currently using this one a lot. I've got a few pairs of this shoe now, and I'm just using 1 pair right now throughout this marathon training block, which is being used about 2 or 3 times a week, to be honest with you. I'm just logging the miles in this shoe. Reason being, I find that with the premium midsole compound, that racing shoe feel, and the energy rods in the shoe, it's a lot more natural and feels much better underfoot than using a more rigid carbon plate. I don't get any Achilles issues whatsoever, but I get the recovery benefits from that Lightstrike Pro midsole compound. Overall, this one's been an absolute gem as per how it was last year in my training block, and I knew going into another marathon block I needed another pair of Pro 3s. A couple of subscribers reached out, very grateful, and I've managed to secure a couple of these pairs, and I've got a fresh one for Abingdon in October. But as I mentioned earlier, I actually have another super shoe coming into test this week that I've purchased with my own money, so I'm excited to share what that is. I'll get some testing done and we'll see whether that one makes the grade. I'll test it out in a race that I've got coming up, and if that feels good, I'll test it in a long run and we'll see if that one might be the marathon shoe instead. So that's where we are with my long run shoes of the year. In terms of preference, definitely both the Adidas deserve to be at the top. I know that they're there in terms of number of runs and number of miles, but I mean, ultimately they're there because I want them to be there. Like, I'm using those shoes the most, I'm gravitating towards them, and they deserve to be there. They're absolutely fantastic. I honestly feel like Adidas's Lightstrike Pro is one of the best midsoles. I keep saying it in quite a few videos. To be honest with you, I don't think anything competes for me as a bigger runner when I'm out there getting these marathon sessions done fan than either the Evo SL or the Pro 3. In particular, the Pro 3, because it's a bit more snappy. And I still have a few weeks left of my marathon block, so to be honest with you, I'm sure that number will increase, but it'll be interesting to see at the end of the year whether this list changes or not. Pretty sure it might do. We'll have to wait and see. I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments below what your go-to long run shoe has been so far this year in 2025. It'd be great to hear what's been your faithful companion, or which ones you've tried and have just not worked for you and you've reserved for maybe just workouts or maybe easier runs instead. Please do drop a comment. It'd be great to hear from you down there. If you enjoyed this video, guys, you might enjoy this one up here. This is the latest shoe that I've got in for testing, the Nimbus 27, that I'm having good success with so far. Or if you want to see something a little bit spicier, a little bit faster, where I'm testing a couple of super shoes, check out this one here. I'm testing the Pro 3 against the brand new Puma Fastar Nitro Elite 3. That's a good one, and hopefully I'll see you guys over on one of those.